Hello everyone, and good morning. Is it still morning? No, it's afternoon now. Oh my gosh. Alright, so I know it's been a little bit since I uploaded last. Honestly, it's just been a lot going on here. The last video I posted was when I was dealing with my pneumonia. I had a whole thing. I ended up having COVID and the pneumonia and everything else, and it's just been a disaster. And then right afterwards was Christmas and everything, and so I've just been doing a lot. My cat always has to come over and say hi. So yeah, it's just been a lot of things going on, and even now I still have residual effects from being sick, so I'm sorry if I end up coughing or anything else. Anyways, this is just a small Wegovy update, and I kind of wanted to talk about what's going on because it is an ongoing issue that I am facing. So I am apparently still in this stall that I've been dealing with. I think the last video that I had recorded, I was either 176 or 177 because that's where I was bouncing, like at the lower end of where I've been bouncing. And I am once again just sitting around 179. And I'm out, honestly, if anything, I'm still not eating a lot. I still have a lot of appetite suppression on my medication, but I don't know. I don't know if the Wegovy, I don't know what's going on with it. I've been on it for a while now, the same dose. And I feel like I can eat slightly more now than I was before. I'm still not eating a whole lot though. I am not, binging or doing anything like that. I am trying to be very mindful of everything that I'm eating. So I'm not like self-sabotaging or anything like that in my diet. However, I feel like I'm once again, I keep getting this hit to my motivation, and the fact that it has been as long as it has now and I'm still just hanging around the same weight, it's a struggle. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, it's tough. I feel like I'm still seeing some changes in like the way my clothing fits and things like that. But typically, as I've mentioned before, sometimes I'll go through these periods where, I'll see like a bunch of like changes in my body, but not on the scale. And then some time will go by, and then all of a sudden the scale just starts to reflect. All of a sudden, like it'll drop a bunch of weight. But this time, it's not really happening. It's not dropping or anything. And I've tried modifying things. I think I even mentioned in my last couple videos, like adding more like greens to my diet, more fiber. I've been, even like Christmas, like holiday food. I know a lot of people tend to overindulge and everything on the holidays, and honestly, like, it's the holidays. Enjoy yourself, right? You can't beat yourself up about it. But even for Christmas, our Christmas meal was sushi, and not like a bunch of like fried rolls and things like that. Like I had nigiri, I had like the little, just the fish that's on top of the rice, and sashimi, which is just the fish. And it was a pretty generally healthy meal. I even had some like seaweed salad, and then miso soup, and that was our Christmas meal that we ate. And I haven't even had, like, usually this time of year I might have like candy that I've been gifted and things like that for the holidays. And I'm not even snacking on things like that either. And so I've been so like working so hard at this, and so I just feel very like disheartened. And it is upsetting. It is. But I like to be honest with you all about what's going on, and this is what's going on. So I'm not quite sure. I think my next appointment it's in January with my doctor, my next weight loss check-in. And I really want to talk to him about this and see what else I can be doing. And it's tough. Even I don't know if I'm like super constipated or anything still. And like I mentioned before, that is an issue. It's an issue on this medication in general, and I've definitely struggled with this like the whole time. but I have been going more regularly, and so I thought for sure like I'd start seeing more movement on the scale, and no, it hasn't. I have upped my water intake and drinking lots of water. I'm not eating overly salty food aside from, sushi night. Obviously, I had like some soy sauce and things like that, and that is like a little higher in sodium. And so I always just expect to retain a little more water when I'm having things that are salty. But aside from that, like I haven't been. So I don't think it's that either. I don't know. And sometimes people will be like, oh, we'll eat a little bit more. And sometimes if you start eating a little more, it'll like jumpstart things, or so I've tried like shifting all over the place. And this is with, going to the gym and doing all these things that I wasn't doing before. So in my mind, Gigi, come here. Our cat Gigi likes to hear himself. Anyway, so like in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, like how am I doing all this work and all this exercise and everything and still not seeing anything like reflect on the scale? Like, and so it gets so like depressing, and I don't know what I can do at this point. I don't know if my doctor would want me to try another medication. I know that there are other options. I know a lot of people are using now like the Mounjaro and the Zepbound. My fear with those medications is that this is purely based on what I went through, even though I think it's a whole other class of medication and everything. I have so much fear because of what I went through when I was on Qsymia. I had severe mood disorders that popped up because of that medication. I went into like a really dark, like severe depression while on that medication. And I've heard stories from people who were on Mounjaro that had that happen to them on that medication. I don't know what's different in that medication that can cause that, because these are people that had been on like things like Wegovy or Ozempic before, then went to Mounjaro and then had those effects. And so being somebody who's already had that happen to them on a different medication, I'm kind of scared of that, honestly. Especially I have seasonal affective disorder, so I tend to go through like more of like a depression and things like that during these months when it's a little colder and everything. Very used to it at this point. Like it happens and I just get through it. But obviously we don't want anything making it harder, right? So I don't know. I mean, I guess if for some reason, I had that issue, perhaps, I could just come on back to Wegovy again. But it is a struggle. And also, so for anyone who does not know, like Mounjaro and Zepbound, Mounjaro came first between the two. So just like Ozempic is the same medication as Wegovy. However, Ozempic is more for people who have diabetes and those issues that they need to control with that medication. Wegovy came out. Hey, come here. Wegovy came out as a weight loss alternative to Ozempic, so that people who needed the Ozempic for diabetes and such could get that medication. Hold on. All right, sorry, I had to give the cat some attention so that he would let me speak. He's actually right here now. So what was I saying? So yeah, Wegovy came out so that those people who needed the Ozempic, ideally, could get the Ozempic because they needed it, right? And then people who needed the Wegovy for the weight loss and everything could get the Wegovy. Now, this is the same kind of thing with Mounjaro. Mounjaro worked really, really well, even more so than Wegovy and Ozempic in trials for weight loss. But same thing now, they came out with Zepbound, and Zepbound is the weight loss version of Mounjaro. But this just got approved for the weight loss and everything, and only just started getting distributed to pharmacies this month in December. And so I know a lot of places still aren't even seeing it yet. It's not even in all the pharmacies yet. So I don't know how readily it would be available here if that is something that I wanted to try out. But if it comes up as an option, or is a possibility, then I might give it a go. So if anyone here is on Zepbound or Mounjaro, since they're the same medication, I believe, aside from, like I just said, weight loss version versus not. But if you've been on the medication, can you please let me know how it's been for you? I'd really like to know how it's going, and if you had any of those effects that I'm kind of worried about, because it is scary. But yeah, so I don't know, it's an option, I guess, maybe, hopefully, I don't know. We're gonna ask and see, I think, what we can do. I know, though, per my last appointment, that I was still on track for the weight loss that he wanted to see from me. And technically, if you read the information from Wegovy, I believe they said that you could see up to a 15% loss in weight. And technically, I think I'm pretty close to that, because I started Wegovy. I want to say I started Wegovy around like 206 pounds. I don't know. I had lost weight before that on Saxenda and everything. But I went on Wegovy, I want to say around just over 200 pounds. And now I am bouncing between 177 and 179. And JT! Yes, you sound beautiful. I agree. What pipes? Gigi wants you to hear the song of his people. I hope you enjoyed it. Here he comes in. Okay. Anyways, so that's where I am currently. So yes, I've gone from about, I want to say it was 206 down to 176, 177 at the lowest, on purely the Wegovy. So it definitely has done its job, right? So I just don't know if it's because I've been on the medication so long that it's just, I've hit that point where it's really just stalled on me, and I don't know. So we're going to have to see, but whenever I do have my next appointment, I'll fill you all in on what happens with that and let you know. But I don't know. In the meantime, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully we'll see some sort of change soon, right? But anyways, that's that. Hope everyone's had a happy holidays, regardless of what you celebrate, or if you do not. I just hope life in general is treating you well. And in case I don't speak to you all before New Year's, isn't New Year's midweek next week? Anyways, I mean, maybe I'll speak to you next year again, right? And I hope everyone is doing well, and of course, as usual, staying healthy and happy. And I'll see you all again very, very soon, hopefully.